Well, fellas, I guess I was wrong. A while ago, I said it's unlikely Insurgency Sandstorm was going to come to last-gen consoles, but it appears they're still shooting for that release. They just announced they're opening up beta testing for console players. So, fellas, here's your chance. Welcome to the channel. My name is Tacti. I cover primarily hardcore first-person shooters, including a lot of Sandstorm, and we're nearly at 8,300 subscribers. So help me out if you enjoy the content and want to stay up to date with the genre. Help me reach that 10K. Alright, console players. They didn't abandon you. Much to my surprise, they're still bringing Sandstorm to consoles. Not just consoles, not just the next gen, but the last gen as well. That really surprised me. So you Xbox One and PS4 players, you'll still get some action. This week, they released a beta testing sign-up for all PlayStation and Xbox players, and I'll link that down below so you can sign up. It's got a legal NDA, so you've got to keep your opinions and information to yourself. I wouldn't suggest applying if you can't keep a secret. You've also got to be at least 18 years of age, so that may be a bit of a bummer. This could honestly be huge for the game, and huge for the console world in general. Or it could be bad for both parties. And I have a couple concerns about this test and the release in general, specifically the mention of the NDA, but I'll explain that in a bit. Let me start with the good. If NWI can pull this off, this could be the introduction of an entirely new genre into the console world that could bring about a new age of first-person shooters on the console. Now, Sandstorm isn't exactly an incredibly hardcore tactical shooter. There are some casual elements to it, things like faster movement, slides, quick scopes, and other fast-paced elements that are often in more casual shooters like Call of Duty. However, the time to kill is incredibly low, and this may cause those console players to slow down a bit. Ultimately, with gameplay, the speed might be decided with how strong that aim assist is going to be, assuming they implement that here. But despite these more casual elements, it's still going to be considered the most hardcore game in the first-person shooter genre, at least on consoles, and that makes it somewhat of an innovation into this market. I remember way back when I was a wee lad years ago, and I wanted to have a game like this so bad. I only really enjoyed playing hardcore modes on Call of Duty and Battlefield, but I just couldn't scratch that itch with those. I wanted more realism, I wanted more immersion. And I know I'm not alone here. There's a huge group of people that want to be immersed in something that they feel is close to realism. And this game will be the first here. And normally the first product that enters into a niche with a high amount of demand and very little competition yields great results. Sandstorm is getting in on the ground floor with this game, which could rocket not only this game and the company in general, but also the genre. Because if they pull this off, this could send waves into the console world and make many, many more companies, especially those big companies, try to emulate what Sandstorm created. It could be the start of a slew of immersive, hardcore tactical shooters entering the console world. Essentially, Sandstorm could set the standard for hardcore tactical shooters on console. Though this could be a really bad thing as well. Which leads me to my concerns regarding the release, but more specifically, the NDA. Part of me understands the NDA because if it's buggy, they really don't want the game to look worse because it's already got somewhat of a tarnished reputation. Maybe that's the primary reason here, but another part of me thinks that they may be downgrading the game so much that the game is either unrecognizable or has nearly half the content of the game we have today. Now, I don't think next-gen consoles are going to be an issue here, but in order to make this game run on last-gen consoles, I'm really thinking they're not going to be able to give you everything we've got here, at least not now. Maybe they can release a DLC in the future once it's all optimized, but there's just so much content they've added since the initial attempt to launch the game on consoles that I just think there's no way that they were able to keep up with this. Because every time they bring in a new update, they have to figure out how to optimize that. And if the original game isn't optimized yet, it makes me think that they're probably not going to get there with these new and updated maps. Look, honestly, I really don't know what to think, because with some of the bugs in the game, NWI can take up to like 2 additional content updates to fix. I think that broken hand animation was in there for months and months without an update or a fix. Not that something like that was game breaking, but it certainly wasn't cute. But usually the new maps that they bring in take a few hot fixes and updates to be further optimized without stutters. So if I'm processing this all correctly, I don't think it's too far-fetched for me to think that this game may be heavily downgraded for these older gen consoles. Again, that could be through content or visuals. So like I said, they're setting the standard here. Hopefully it's not a standard that gets set where the phrase is, at least it's better than Sandstorm. So with this, I guess you can consider me cautiously optimistic. If it does do well, I'm really happy for you console gamers. You guys need some of this stuff out there because not everyone can afford a PC. That can get expensive. And look, I want to clarify something here because I think it's important. I love Sandstorm. I sometimes get a little bored with it, but I want the game to absolutely nail it. I haven't had a whole lot of interaction with the devs over there, but they do seem like they're really trying. And with a community that can be a little testy with some of the changes, I think they're doing okay to try to listen and keep up. But I also know they're in a fairly difficult spot because part of the community is okay with more casual stuff. Part of the community wants more hardcore things. I wouldn't want to be the community manager there, but I think they're doing okay. And while it's hard to judge your own personal character, I also feel like I'm a realist, and I feel like the longer I'm involved in this hardcore shooter world, the more I'm understanding the marketing and development aspects of the system. I don't ever really want anyone to fail at something good, and I also know that we all make mistakes and fall short of our goals and our ideals, so I believe heavily in grace. So while NWI hasn't handled everything perfectly or been super transparent, there's no reason to keep holding that against them if they're making moves to try to get this console released one last time. I don't know, hopefully it runs well, hopefully everything is fantastic, hopefully the beta test goes phenomenally, hopefully you all enjoy the beta test and then get that release here this year would be fantastic. Like I say in most of my videos when it comes to game updates, we'll just have to see. With all that being said, that's all for this video. Just some thoughts of an old man who thinks hardcore shooters are fun and wants people to enjoy them. Thanks for stopping by, and if you're still here, you're a true hero. Stay safe out there, and more importantly, stay tactical.